Hi everyone, welcome back to this channel. My name is Joy Gonoche, as you know, and today we have here our landlord of nursing, Ubaka Austin, my one-time colleague back home, and a very lively person, lovely person to be with, to be around, and I'm going to give him the floor to introduce himself a bit. I will be talking about a very, 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 very hot topic. You don't want to miss it, so stay till the end. Over to you, Austin.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, viewers around the world. My name is Ubaka Augustine Oluchukwu. I'm a registered nurse. Background, I have public health, BSc. I'm also an MC, and I do some other stuff.
A lot of stuff, like he's an all-rounder. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
It's so lovely to have you here today. It's really, really lovely. I'm grateful for you giving me the time, like out of your work, you close from work, coming here to stay and be present, and not even preparing so much for this particular life we're doing. It was just off an impromptu. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for coming around.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll go straight to the point. I have a few questions to ask to talk about this topic, that because a lot of people have it in their head. A lot of people have it as a question in their head, in their mind, like what's happening with nursing in Nigeria, what's happening with medical professionals as a general thing now in Nigeria, because we see a lot of nurses traveling, we see a lot of doctors traveling every day. Like the airport is filled to the brim. In fact, the day myself was traveling, God, I was pushing crowds, to go through. It was really that bad, and it keeps happening every blessed day. I don't mean a particular day of the week, every day. So we're just going to be talking about this topic as a whole, like what we think is happening, what we think can be done about it, if there is anything, and then Austin is going to be giving us his own thoughts about traveling abroad, traveling to the UK, US, and Canada, and other countries. And yeah, so Austin, first off, what do you think? I hope it's okay for me to address you as Austin, like Austin. No, you're my favorite. Great. All right. So what do you think what's your thoughts about traveling abroad? First off, like what's your thoughts about leaving one's country and then going out of the country to start a new life somewhere else you don't know about before, taking that risk as a whole? What's your thoughts about it?
Well, basically I think it's not a bad idea to start with. We have a lot of human rights, and one of the human rights is the right to movement and right to relocation, if I want to rephrase it. So It's just an intuition or desire for a human being or somebody who feels that, okay, wherever I am, I'm not getting enough there, or I can get enough or get other stuff from a certain particular place, and then grows the desire to go to that particular place. So it's not an evil plan, so to say. It's only just natural as human being. Even in the Bible, the people of Israel relocated. They moved from one place to another. So it's been an age-long activity of relocating from one place to another as far as mankind is concerned. So it is not an exception when it comes to nursing. So relocation is, I basically feel, is natural in the thing of the person. If you feel wherever you are, you're not getting what you want, you can decide to move somewhere else and get your desired goals and achievements, and that's fine. There shouldn't be a crime. So basically, that's my thought.
Okay, but you see, these days, like compared to like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, these days now, you see this traveling out in mass, like in a large mass. It's not like before where one or two people just leave a particular hospital and be like, oh, that person is now working abroad. These days it's just like a group of friends like are traveling out, and it's become the norm of the day. Like, why do you think this is happening to us? Do you have any idea? Because I'm also one of the people that have left the country and in search of better I'm using as chat. So
Well, I
Yeah.
think there are reasons. There are a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. I mean, first of all, reason why people primarily want to work is to make money. You understand?
Yeah.
And then when you're working and you feel you're not earning as much money as you're inputting into your work, I mean,
Yeah.
you begin to grow the thought of, okay, where am I going to get better money or better pay for what I'm doing? Then some other reasons could be political reasons. It could be socio-economic factor. When the economy is not doing very well, the environment is not helping you, your workplace toxicity, workplace environment that is not so healthy, you're not learning anything from where you're working. You feel like, okay, I need to go to somewhere else where I think I can learn and work in a better environment, And then as regards Nigeria, we all know how hard the country is currently. People just wake up in the morning, you are basically thinking of how to survive. You don't even
Yeah.
know what is your next point of call or what's your next move, Even with your BSc, first class, and so on and so forth, this country is as bad as they don't even respect or give an F about whatever it is you have upstairs, So people just feel they should go to where they are more valued and where they are going to get the value for their education and reasoning as well. So that's basically some of the reasons why I feel people make up their mind to relocate.
Yeah, I would just add to that because when I was in Nigeria, I was sort of doing my BSc, wanting to get my BSc degree because I thought, without that, not just me feeling this now, every other person around me, you should know this, that, without your BSc, you can't really get to a particular level. You can't go up the ladder in your profession. And
True.
so I was working towards getting this, and then along the line I just felt, okay, why not just use my destiny and go out? And it was just my diploma in midwifery that I used to relocate, that I used to apply for a job in the UK that got me here, just a diploma. And that's because they respect your skills as a nurse, repair your skills as a midwife compared to where you're coming from, where
which may not be possible. Exactly.
Yeah, you're seen as a single qualified nurse, single qualified midwife. It's too low. Like, they just look down on you, and that's really not fair. So I think that's also one big reason for me. That was the reason that, like, instead of trying to get to that PhD level, where at the end of the day you end up getting peanuts. Yes. Why not just why not look for a better future outside? All right. So I have another question here. So what do you think can help us? Like, is there a way we can make a better decision apart from traveling? Is there a way we can do something else? Because this place is cold and we miss home sometimes. I miss home and I really wish I'm in my country. So what can be done? Do you think we can do anything at all to help?
Okay, well, before I answer this question, I will just enlighten throw more light about what you just said last, and I would want to say it's more like career development, the idea of traveling with diploma, but as regards Nigeria. So some countries, you tend to progress in the ladder of nursing, notwithstanding the level of education you have. Even if you have the least RN, you are respected in some countries, and then in most other countries, your RN is seen as rubbish, relatively. So for career development and enhancements and advancement, people want to go out and then further. So that's just for the previous question. So for this question, I don't really know, to be very honest with you. I'm going to be very honest with you. But I feel a lot of persons are actually going to be held responsible for that factor. The government, most especially, will have a whole lot of blames on their home. With all due respect to the government, I'm not saying they are not doing enough. Of course, they are trying to the best of their ability, but a lot of times there are some basic things that are skipped, and that precipitates this idea to want to relocate. For example, the hospitals are not well equipped. You're working in an environment, you're not seeing the materials you're supposed to use to save life. You are barely using your hands. You don't even have the least glove to use to work or attend to patients. The environment is not cool. So I feel the government should do a lot to equip the hospitals. And then remuneration. How much are they even paying these people? I mean, these people are seen as lifesavers. They are known to have done a whole lot of things, go out of their way. A lot of times you are sick, you go to work. You're not even
Even
attending
during
to yourself. You
COVID
are attending
period,
to
like you have to put
you
your head
know,
inside.
the line, and okay, at the end of the day, you are getting 27,000, you are getting peanut, you are getting chicken change, and then you will not sit down and ask yourself, wait, oh, what I'm doing, the work input, is it what this salary I'm receiving? And you realize that it is not. Only your transport fare alone don't chop half of or more than half of the salary you get at the end of the month. Only your transport, we've not even talked about feeding and the rest. So I feel the remuneration should be looked into, increased if possible drastically. I mean, it should be skyrocketed, because you cannot be doing a whole lot of all this and you're earning peanuts. People sit in some offices in quote without doing anything, and they go home with bags of money and the rest of them. So I feel a lot of persons should be blamed too. Then if the working environment becomes friendlier, the salary becomes a little bit enticing,
Yeah.
then we can now start saying, oh, these are ways we can now start changing the ideas and mindset of young nurses from jackbarring, as the
Yeah.
syndrome goes, because there should be a reason to keep them back. It's not a question of stay back in your country. Stay back in your country and do what? Why are we staying back? So you should give them enough reason to want them to stay back. Oh, the salary has been increased. Now they are paying very well. Oh, the work environment is now okay. The equipment standardized, and then they will look back and be like, that thing we are going there to look for, it
It's
is
here.
here now. So let's just people stay here and work. So that's just it.
That's true. That's a very powerful point. Thank you for that. So another question I have here on my list is, like, obviously we're seeing how everybody's traveling, everybody they jackpot, nurses, midwives, doctors, like everybody. The healthcare system is really shaking. It's shaking. I don't know, what do you think in the next 5 years this is going to look like? Do you think we'll have healthcare again in Nigeria? Do you think we'll not turn to herbs on all those things? Because if there is nobody to administer medication, who is going to save? I'm just trying to imagine, because it's scary. It's really scary.
Thank God we have a traditional birth attendant. Maybe they'll be the ones that will be heading most hospitals in the next 5 years. Retrospectively, in the next 5 years, I don't know. I honestly don't know where I will see, or where I will put the Nigerian healthcare system, because if we don't do things now, if things are not put in place now to forestall and, how will I put it, hinder this idea of relocating and moving, the next 5 years will be a problem, because that's where you have a lot of young nurses traveling out, and then you have more of older nurses in the country. Trust me, even the older ones are even making plans of leaving. They
are even coming already. They are coming already.
I'm not joking. Like, you have a CNO, a senior staff nurse, who is not even bothered of her age. She wants to relocate. She would prefer to go there and start from the beginning than stay in Nigeria and be earning whatever amount of salary they are paying her. Forget the respect and the prestige that comes with her post. So I feel every strategy that should reduce the idea of relocation should actually be put in place. If not, the next 5 years is going to really, 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 really not be friendly and cool. You walk into an hospital and then you are met with elderly, almost weary looking nurses. You don't have the energetic, cool, hardworking young nurses that can just do 3, 4, 5 procedures within 1 hour, because they've moved out. So it's scary. Honestly, next 5 years is scary. But I feel positively that something will be done somewhere, somehow, within these 5 years, and the idea of the movement will be reduced. Because if not, the next 5 years, I see a very big issue in the healthcare system. Doctors are moving, nurses are moving, pharmacists are moving,
every day.
Medical lab scientists are moving. Just recently, a friend of mine, physiotherapist, he don't go. Physiotherapist, he has gone. So everybody in the medical field, they are looking for their way now, So a lot should be done. But I want to be positive that in the next 5 years we will see a better turnout.
Hopefully, we really pray, and we hope this gets to the right ears. All right. The next question I have is, Okay, I think we've sort of answered it, like the reasons why our young nurses are leaving the country, leaving their parents, leaving who they know back home, parents and all of their siblings to start a new life somewhere they don't know. I think we've sort of talked about that before, but if you have more reasons why you think would prefer to go to another place, another country to start afresh instead of being with our lovely family.
I'll give you a personal experience. I will just use a personal experience to answer this question. Very simple and short. So sometime early this year, I will be anonymous with the names and whatever. So sometime this year, I actually got a white collar government employment in a government hospital in a certain state. Of course, jubilating on finally I've gotten government work. But if I tell you the ills, if I tell you the negativity that comes to that work, you will not believe it that I didn't last up to 2 weeks. 2 weeks after collecting my appointment letter. The next 2 weeks, we collect appointment letter. Last 2 weeks, personally wrote my resignation letter. Not doing again. I'm telling you, this is not a private hospital. This is a government hospital somewhere in this country, Nigeria. Why? A lot of reasons. One, how will you employ me and you expect me to stay 9 months without salary, and I'll be coming to work and I'll give my patient the best? How am I going to give my patient the best? WHO standard of health is known to be a person who is completely physically okay, psychologically, financially, socially, spiritually. So imagine removing spiritually. How do you expect other forms of health to be complete? It's practically impossible. A lot of nurses are employed, they stay a long period of time without receiving peanuts, and you expect them to give you the best. That's one. Secondly, the workplace toxicity. This idea of older nurses, older staff members, making it look as though you young nurses and young medical professionals that are coming up, you have nothing to offer. They want to be the one in charge. They feel I don't know if I prefer to use the word. They feel threatened.
Yeah.
Young people are coming in.
I think I would agree with the word threatened. Yes.
This is 2023. Most of their ideas are archaic. They are outdated. Instead of them to synergize with the people, the young nurses that are coming in, mix experience with energy, they tend to chase you away. They tend to become unnecessarily harsh, unnecessarily rude and disrespectful to you. Because yes, I would like to use the word respectful because respect is reciprocal. In as much as we are the oldest, it doesn't mean you cannot respect the young ones. So it makes the work environment become so tensed, so heavy with I don't know whether to say hatred, that it makes you very uncomfortable. Going to work in the morning, you are like, what am I going to work? I'm going to meet Mrs. A, who's going to shout at me for doing this one, any little thing. It makes the workplace very heated, very unfriendly. You can't even express yourself as a young nurse who wants to go and meet an elderly nurse. So say, okay, these are my concern, these are my this. You are scared. You can't work with them. So that's another reason. Then secondly, what are the instruments you're working with? For my like I said, the employment I had, I was working in emergency ward. Me that's working in emergency ward, I will still also have to man mail ward. So I have one brain, 2 hands, but I'm doing virtually a lot of things.
Wow.
Yes, I'll be in emergency ward, receive emergencies, attend to them. When I'm done, I will rush to mail ward and go and check the patient in mail ward because I'm manning 2 wards. That is not my problem. What are you working with? Even the barriers and gloves, you have to wait for patient relative to buy it. So imagine if an emergency comes and the person is bleeding, the person is going to stay there and you'll be looking at the person and be giving the person psychological support. Blood is oozing. Bele. If the patient relative does not bring gloves, you cannot walk. If they don't come with instrument, you cannot walk. It's heartbreaking. So I got to the point I was like, nah, I can't do this. I'm not cut out for this stress.
That's really stressful.
It started distorting my mental stability.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks, I wrote a letter. Thank you very much for the opportunity to work with you guys, but I don't think I can continue. And I went back to my previous place of primary assignment, which felt comfortable for me. So this is my own experience. A lot of other persons have their own individual experience. Imagine bringing everybody's experience together. You realize that a lot of things is going on. Like, you will just be amazed that we are trying, even in the midst of the chaotic situations, people are still sticking their head out for the healthcare system that is almost failing to operate and progress. So personally, I feel that this is just my own experience, and every other person has one or two other experiences that are not so cool, and that informs their decision, that informs their desire, that grows their mindset. So you basically cannot stop a lot of things if things are not put in place. You can't tell people not to move. You can't tell people not to decide not to travel. That's you literally tampering on their rights to movement, because it's a human right, it's a fundamental human right. You can't come and tell me later. Of recent, I'm hearing that a certain group of persons are wanting to implement a law that is going to prevent healthcare professionals from traveling. I'm like, is that law even going to work?
That's not the solution to the problem.
Apart from the fact that it is not even the solution to the problem, it's as good as you are now kidnapping us. Because that's what it looks
like locking them in the cage.
You want to force us to stay back and do what? You that want to implement law, so to say, at the end of the month, you go home with Ghana must go. Ghana must goes of different currencies. You have your personal driver, you have your personal chef, you have your personal blah blah blah. You have your personal messenger, self go, and you just sit upstairs there, make decisions, make policies, and you're comfortable. You don't know what other people are passing through, but you want to know that people should not move out of the country. But meanwhile, your daughter is somewhere in another part of the world studying. You that is making law to prevent traveling. When you are sick, you take the next flight to another country
to get better treatment.
You're supposed to stay in this country. I don't think that law doesn't have head, honestly speaking. With all due respect to the group of persons who talked about that, that is not the solution, and that is not what we should be hearing at this point in time. We should be hearing, how do we keep these people? Nigeria is beginning to have brain drought because our best brains are disappearing. The problem should not be closing the border. The problem should be, how do we keep these people? How do we identify these people?
That even when you open that border, they will not want to go through it.
As in, they'll just be like, I beg, there's no need. That thing I'm going to look for in Sokoto is in my Shokoto. So let me just quickly sit down. So a lot of things need to be done. A lot of people trust Nigerians. We talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. But of course, we also rely on God.
Seriously.
We're going to do his part as well.
Because a lot of us, if the country becomes better, I think we'll definitely want to go back.
Of course, there are persons outside this country that I know of, but I personally know of that they don't even like the environment outside. They would prefer it.
I'm giving myself
once they have 2 days off like this, they are back in Nigeria. 2 days off, they are back. That's to tell you that they're not comfortable there. But they just have to. They have to cope. Now, instead of dying here, they could go there. So if the country is working, trust me, a lot of persons will be here. A lot of persons go to US, you have their best pilot, Nigeria, the best mathematician, Nigeria, the best surgeon, Nigeria. If it's not Nigeria, it's an African. Most of the best brains there are from here, because they know how important these people are. They will come fish them, entice them with all the good things, house, and salary, the welfare, and you'll be forced to go. You cannot be here and suffering with your best brain when people are going to give you heaven and earth outside there. You will just go. A lot of the engineering department there was not a Nigerian that created a car that operates. I don't know, one thing that has to do with a very good discovery. It was an African or a Nigerian, so to say. I'm not really sure about that, but at the end of the day, you just find out that most countries' best brain are somewhere else in this planet making money, and the country is relaxed. All they are thinking of doing is to make a law that states that if you're a healthcare professional, you will remain in Nigeria for 5 years before you can think of traveling. Is that supposed to be a law that is helping us? How does that help us? Some people will gracefully stay the 5 years, and once the 5 years elapses, off they go again. So what's the need? So a lot should be done. Honestly, a lot should be done.
We have an assignment to complete. The government have an assignment, a big one. I think we've talked about this, but the last question I sort of have is, like, what do you think the government, where should they start? What do you think they can do to start to help salvage the situation? Because it looks like it's unhelpable at this point. Like, because me barely looking at the state of the country, looking at the state of Naira, I think yesterday was 1,500 per £1. Like, I'm just looking like, where are they going to start from? It's just
The truth is we can always start from somewhere. Let me give a very direct answer to that. Nigerian pay priority to, sorry to say, I'm very sorry, Nigerians who pay priority to nonsense, who pay
yeah.
priority to things that are not important. A very candid example, we just had this last election, and then we have the new set of House of Assembly and House of Rep members. And then the news has carried it just a few days ago that they've bought brand new cars for all the members of House of Rep. Each of those cars cost about 120 million. Cars. I mean, cars, official cars, 120 million. And what they do is they drive to their office, AC car, AC
Yeah.
office, make decisions that don't even concern the masses and their constituencies, and they are fine. At the end of the day, they carry their Ghana must go of billions and they disappear. Priority paid to nothing. Meanwhile, people who should be given these personal special attentions are getting nothing. So, honestly speaking, I think the government has a lot to play when it comes to health. They should pay more attention to the healthcare system. A lot of things should be done when, as regards provision of at least basic amenities in the hospitals. Basic amenities, then personalize the doctors, the nurses, the healthcare professionals. They should be enticed. Let me use that word. It says they don't know it is their right to be paid well. No wala. Let us use the word entice them. Since you don't know it is their right for you to pay them well and gratify their help and their input, no wala. Entice them, increase their salary, pay it as when due. Not when you employ somebody, the person will have to first of all have a mental thought of how I'm going to survive 8
Yeah.
months, 9 months without salary. And then when you now talk, some certain
Like
person tell you,
you're putting in your time.
wait, now that's not the annoying
Everything.
thing. Some certain person will not tell you, now so did they do am. It has always been like that. You are not the first set of person. So because it has always been like that, we should continue like that. Nonsense becomes a tradition in Nigeria just because now so they do am. It's not supposed to be right. Now so they do am. So I feel the government has to do a lot. There should be trainings, retrainings of healthcare professionals as well. Basically, very important as well. At least let them be updated with the modern day practices generally, because a lot of their practices in Nigeria, trust me, are actually very, very archaic. When you disappear from this country and then they give you a procedure to do, you just you realize that you are doing 1994 procedure and you are in 2022. So,
Yeah.
so a lot of things, modern facilities in the hospital,
Yeah.
personnel management and enticement, if I'll use that word, career advancement, career promotion, a lot of other things, and things will be moving. I mean, they can do this. Personally, I feel they can. There's money in Nigeria. See, we get all this one where they toss the money, no the money, no the money.
We have the resources.
Some kind of people, we have mad resources. Some kind of people, they dig the resources, they choke for pockets. These are resources. Imagine that 120 million that they is getting a car for one house of rep. I'm not saying they don't deserve it. Don't quote me wrong anyway. I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm not saying it is not important for them to have it. But I mean, there are other persons who still need such enticement too. That's what I'm saying. If you give to Peter as well, give to Paul. Don't give to Peter and decide and tell Paul to consider Paul be managing. It's not fair, because they both do something good and they are both working for the progress of the country. So government has a lot to do, and I hope they sit up and do what they're expected to do and what we know them and what we hope them to do. And I think a lot of things will be moving faster than we thought if they decide to heed to the advice. So that's just it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And also, I think they should also do, put things in priority. Like, okay, fine, they want to buy cars for ministers. They want to change the color of the naira, the notes, change the color from one to another. Put it like on a scale of preference. Okay, this health is very more important. If someone died, you can't go back to life. If one person died as a result of poverty, you can't bring the person back. So let's put it on a scale of priority. Do this first, and then when the money is remaining, because that's what I do as a personal thing. I see a fine shoe, a fine clothes I want to buy, and I don't have food to eat. I have to put it like, okay, should I buy this clothes and stay home? Should I buy food and maybe buy clothes next time? Something like that. And yeah. All right. Thank you very much. what sort of advice would you have for the nurses that are still in the country, wanting to move, wanting to travel, or wanting a better life for themselves? What sort of advice would you give to them? Like, in the meantime, how can they just help themselves?
For the meantime, until we begin to see a noticeable change, my dear, please continue. Continue your plan. Whatever plan you have that will make you happy as an individual, as a person, that will satisfy you, my dear, may God help you continue. And until we begin to see a drastic change, until we begin to see a change that is advantageous to us as a nation and as a profession. Generally in Nigeria, we see nurses as winch. We have this quote and unquote nurses are known to be very wicked, they're winches, they're this. But a lot of persons don't really come close to them to know what they are really passing through. For example, in a facility where a nurse has not been paid for 9 months, it is not going to be a witch naturally. You know which to be witch. No, let's talk to. You have not been paid for 9 months and you've been coming to work every day. You have been doing your best. You have been attending to patients, attending to emergency. With the fact that you've not eaten or you don't have money, they've not paid you. You're not rich to be winch. I'm not justifying malpractice. I'm not justifying incompetence. I'm not justifying what do you call it? Negligence and the rest of them. But I mean, psychologically, the person is good to be a winch. Because they're not getting what they're giving to society. They give a lot of things to society and they're not getting it back. And the only thing they're getting is disrespect, disregard. It doesn't tell well. So whatever you are doing, my dear fellow nurses that want to put food on your table and make you smile and your family happy, continue doing it for now. As far as the right thing, legally, please, I didn't say illegal. If it's legal and it's correct and it's true, continue. May God see you through until we begin to see a drastic change in the country. Then we cannot start thinking of, we cannot come back and say, okay, like things don't be good though. I want to do now.
I'll be the first to come back. I will be the first to come back.
For now, just do your best. I'm not saying disappear from the country. I'm a registered nurse in Nigeria. I am currently working in Nigeria. Do I have plans to move? I don't know. Am I making plans to move? I don't know. But of now, I'm working in Nigeria. But I don't know for any other reason or any other place. For those of you that have gotten the opportunity to move, be going. Thank you. Be going. Safe flight for now. Because every other person is flying. Even the government officials are flying. So we cannot be flying together. Let us all gather and be flying. Until they decide to fix the problem we have, we can fly back. Thank God. May God help us all.
Amen. Thank you so very much. This was really enlightening, even for myself, and it's something to reflect on as a country, as a people, as an individual. It's just something to reflect on and say, like, what can I do to help better this? Like, how can I start to? Thank you so much for coming in here today to share your wealth of experience.
Thank you. Before we round up, I know a lot of persons will definitely watch this video and will have a lot of, how will I put it, different opinions about my suggestions and whatever. And some persons are probably going to come up with the idea that what happened to sacrifice, what happened to dignity in labor, what happened to this and that. I understand, my dear. For those who are going to be coming into the comment section later on to drop there, it is good. We are all sacrificial. See, the thought of being a nurse in Nigeria is already a sacrifice already.
It is.
The fact that you just wake up in the morning and say, I want to become a nurse in Nigeria. You're already giving yourself to Babalawo as a sacrifice. Take me, use me.
Even here. So then I told someone that was a midwife. The person was like, oh my God, you guys are trying. You guys are heroes. How do you do it? Like, in this country, like today, I just went out, I'm coming back. I say, like, you guys are really putting in hours. You mean you work 12 hours? You mean you work all the hours? Like, I said, this is what I do. And we are being paid. But then again, the sacrifice is there because not everyone can be a healthcare professional. Not everyone can make that sacrifice. Not everyone can have that courage. Yeah.
Oh, so nobody should come and tell me sacrifice. Nobody should come and preach about dignity in labor. We have it already. It is inbuilt. We are talking here about these people have done this. They have done this and that. What are you giving them to say, okay, we respect what you are doing. This is like a payment for whatever you are doing. It's literally not nothing. Literally, we get literally nothing. So nobody should come and preach about sacrifice, about why you're running for your fatherland, why are you doing this, why are you doing that one. Well, that's not basically what we're talking about here now. But even you that's going to say it, I put it to you that if you are working in office A and office B is going to pay you better, my dear, I put it to you that you are going to resign from office A and run to office B. And that
it's
is
just
movement.
human instinct. Everybody does
just
that.
human instinct. So you should not be seen in the negative light because people want to move, people want to do this. It is to their own advantage. Everybody who has opportunity will do it. It's just like saying until you wear a shoe, you don't know how it's going to pay you, or you don't know where it's paying you. Now who wears shoe know where they pay them. So those who don't wear the shoe or who are not wearing the shoe, they see it as why do they do these ones? What are they even feeling like? And is there any place again for sacrifice? Then is there no place again for hard work and the rest of them? My dear, there are a lot of places for hard work. And from the beginning of our school days, in fact, as student nurses, we have been sacrificing. We sold our hearts to the country. Hold it.
I don't know what we went through in nursing school.
So,
That's
a different topic on its own. On a different day, as pertaining schooling. Well, before you even get to the position you are as a registered nurse, you would have seen Shege, you would have seen Shege, Banza and hell.
Financially, emotionally, mentally,
like, psychologically,
you lose your life totally. You don't have a social life. You don't have a life at all.
Just to help others, and then when I finally get the certificate, you are now coming to suffer us again. So nobody should come and talk about sacrifice, and we have the sacrifice. We have a lot of it's in abundance. It's in abundance. But at the end of the day, that's why human beings are different. We have a lot of nurses, even in the midst of this whole chaotic situations, who have sworn that they're not going to step their foot out of Nigeria. They've made their life so devoted to the selfless service of serving humanity as regarding the geopolitical comfort of their environment. That's actually fine and encouraging. I'm not disputing, with all due respect to those people, it is actually practically very encouraging. I'm not disregarding their thoughts. I'm not disregarding their opinions. I'm not saying they should go with the crowd mentality. But whatever, at the end of the day, the question, the main thing is whatever makes you happy, whatever puts food on your table, whatever you wake up in the morning and you think about and you're like, oh, thank God, just do it. As far as it's good, as far as it's legit, you don't hurt anybody, you're not stealing, please go ahead and do it. It's that simple. It's as simple as that. So that's just my thoughts.
Thank you so much. I know very well for sure that a lot of people are going to benefit from this thing, and I'm glad we were able to come talk about this. And if you did learn a lot from this, if you gained something from this, please drop a thank you in the comment section for us, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Please tell him thank you. It's been amazing nursery today.
I think I speak for a lot of nurses.
Seriously, that's the thing. That voice, it needed to be said. It needed to be said. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for coming here. I will keep inviting you here, please. We'll say more and more. We need to hear. We need to listen. There is this very dark black man online.
No, I can't be the dark man. Dark man is different, please. I'm always ready to come and say what I want to do. No, dark man is different. This is me. Though he's doing a good job. With all due respect to him, he's doing a good job as well. We need people to talk, and even if talking does not do anything, but at least let people be aware that something is going on within the.
Just say it out. At least that's the first step. That's the first step. Because if you don't say what's itching you, I don't know it. I might just be like, it's only me that is being affected.
Exactly. Yeah, so let us talk. Let's own up and voice our fears. At least that's the first step to change. Change does not just happen like that. It happens from listening to opinions and people's views about a lot of things, and they pick out what to change and effect it. So hopefully, but at least I hope the next time there will be item 7, because
of course, donuts, and then that item 8 will not be offering where all the subscribers will drop offering in We'll share donuts next time as well.
No
Thank
problem.
you
It's all
so
right.
much. Thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, drop a like and comment, and then tell him thank you very much for us. Please, if you're watching this, just drop a thank you on
Thank
my
you.
behalf and on every other person's behalf. Thank you so much, Hussein. And
Thank you. You're doing a nice job, by the way. I've watched some of your videos, the tips
oh,
of relocation, job, and the rest of them. It's actually good. A lot of persons start up without having a guideline on what to do. I mean, most of your videos have been able to channel
yeah,
their thoughts and give them a
yeah.
lot of guidelines on where to do or what to do, where to go to, and a lot of solution seeking answers too. So you're doing a good job, Joy. So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. And have a nice day, everyone. Bye bye.